YouTube, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And as always, a quick thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to check out the latest video and for all the amazing support. You guys already know you're a part of the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. So my silver journey and I landed some interview time with Vince Wade, CEO of Pinehurst Coins in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And we made the drive down to Golftown and met Vince and his amazing staff, which included Senior VP Harry Farrell and Marketing Specialist Bella Ventola. Before the interview, we were given a tour of the amazing facility. Sorry, no pictures due to security reasons, as you can well imagine. But we did get a fantastic look at all aspects of the operation, and it was a rare view into how a major bullion dealer operates. I mean, their shipping department was getting after it, let me tell you folks, very busy. And hey, I got to hold a 950-ounce silver bar. Yeah, I probably won't ever hold one of those again. So I'm glad I got a picture for posterity. Anyway, if you're not familiar, Pinehurst Coins has a large presence on eBay. In addition to their website and storefront sales, they're currently holding a 4.8 rating on Trustpilot with plenty of positive feedback entries. And today's video will give you an inside perspective of how a major bullion dealer operates. We were really excited to film this interview, and my Silver Journey did a great job on the editing. And we can't thank Vince and his staff enough for accommodating Journey and I, and for the swag bags. You guys are too kind. Vince is a really busy guy, and he was shuttled off to his next task almost immediately after we were finished. So we do value the time we were given. Lastly, be sure to check out the description of this video. There's a discount link for Pinehurst's 5-coin Legendary Warriors series, and a link for an upcoming Empowered with Meg Ryan episode that's going to feature Pinehurst and the precious metals industry in general. You'll definitely want to check that out when it's released. Now, all that said, grab your beverage of choice, sit back, and I hope you enjoy the interview. Vince, take it away.
Well, I hope everybody's having a good day here in YouTube world. I'd like to welcome Neil from Stack Attack, and we have Journey. They're going to do a brief interview with me at Pinehurst Coins here. And for those that don't know myself, I am Vince Wade, President and CEO of Pinehurst Coins.
We've been looking forward to this for a while now.
Yeah, we appreciate your time, definitely.
It's wonderful to be able to meet you and hang out with you a little bit today.
Thank you. Really glad you guys took the time to make the long journey to Pinehurst. I hope the ride wasn't too bad and you saw a lot of pine trees.
There's plenty of them out here, that's for sure.
Pine trees and police.
That's what we're known for, Neil.
Well, we'd like to go over some questions for you and get some feedback from you.
Sure. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you'd like to ask.
All right. Well, I'd just like to start off, what was your inspiration for the business?
The inspiration for the business was I went from a collector to a dealer, So my dad used to ride the train from Long Island, New York to New Jersey every single day. And somebody on that train actually sold him an American Silver Eagle, and he brought it home to me and gave it to me. And I think silver at the time was, I don't know, $2 an ounce.
Oh, wow.
And I could remember as a kid getting the newspaper and looking in there what silver was worth. Back then there wasn't the internet and we could go and look every single day. So I'd look in the newspaper and see what it was worth. And I kind of put that collection away when I joined the military and forgot about it. And when I got out in 2004, I had a friend and I were talking, and he said, you ever hear of a company called eBay? And at that time, I didn't know eBay. And, I got on eBay that night and started looking around on there. And I did what we all do when we get on eBay the first time. We start looking at items we have and what are they worth? Mm-hmm. And I found the American Silver Eagles that I had, and I just started buying and selling them from there. And ended up where I am today. So
it's a heck of a way to get started.
Yeah, it was an interesting way. So
wow.
So you guys are focused on the precious metals, gold, silver. You do palladium, platinum.
We do. So one of the major products when I actually first started out was the palladium rounds. They were the Stillwater rounds. I don't know if you've ever seen them or not. Mm-hmm. So they were done by Northwest Territorial Mint. And I used to do those because, when I first started out, gold was very expensive and platinum was even more expensive. And palladium at that time, I think, was about $150 an ounce. So I used to do a lot of transactions in those palladium rounds. But today we trade in them, but they're not one of our core products.
And what kept you away from a lot of coin shops or a lot of coin and bullion companies? They tend to branch out. Some
Okay.
will go into jewelry, precious, stuff like that. What prevented you guys? You just focusing on the metals, correct?
Yes. So I had a mentor early on that told me, do one thing and do it well. Right. So we've obviously expanded into different segments of the market, but we don't, I think it's difficult for an entrepreneur to stay focused. They want to do everything all at once. So it's been a great amount of discipline displayed by focusing on one product line, getting proficient at that product line, and then moving to the next product line.
Right. I'm sure you've been in coin shops across the country. You walk in and like half the store is jewelry and
Right.
Raccoon skin. Over here is some bullion.
Look, I think local coin shops are absolutely fabulous, right?
Sure.
It's like going on a mini vacation, going in there, being able to talk to them about the things that we love and we love to collect, but you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? I never ever say anything negative about pricing at a local coin shop, because some of them are very successful and some are struggling, and they're selling raccoon skins, jewelry, or whatever they are, branching out to try to generate revenue. I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of, operating expenses to keep those shops open. And if they're not actively selling online, it makes it difficult, right?
Just the brick and mortar.
The brick and mortar aspect in this world is different, right?
100%.
So,
Sure. I think what's holding a lot of them together is the eBay stores,
correct.
the online websites,
Yeah.
selling online basically. And you guys have branched well into eBay.
Right.
And we've got Bella here, who has even begun to do eBay Lives.
Yes.
Hi.
I'll let Bella speak
Hi,
on
Bella.
eBay Live. So.
I'm Bella. I'm in charge of the eBay Lives. eBay Live's been really great for us to kind of like build a relationship with our customers and, provide a very fun experience. Any questions about it? Any specific questions?
What made y'all decide to go with the eBay Live instead of some of the other platforms?
eBay Live reached out to us and asked if we would, shoot some content and do that. And, we talked it over quite a bit here. Again, we like to focus on what we know. And we felt that the customer demographic there was something that we hadn't been reaching. So, we talked internally, and Bella was pretty much the trailblazer on that. I mean, she hit the ground running. She thoroughly enjoys it. She loves the interaction, and she's grown quite a big audience. I mean, I would say I don't watch it as much as I used to, but a bad show for them is probably 300-400 people viewing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Great.
terrific.
Yeah, so she has a great audience, and sometimes we have, I've seen it as high as like 5,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's
it's,
amazing.
yeah.
It's definitely really fun on there. It's the best job I've ever had. I just have to say that. But I love eBay Live. It's the best thing about my job. So
That's wonderful.
Perfect.
The New World Direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing his lives on everything nowadays.
ours is definitely educational, but it's very entertaining, I would say.
Well,
I've seen you guys.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, is
You have fun with it.
being able to do it as a successful business and keep it entertaining at the same time.
Right.
Challenge as well. So
It is. It very much is a challenge. So we have to keep it professional, but we also want it to be entertaining, right? So.
That's why we yell Buffalo into the microphone.
so what about, we were talking a little bit earlier about your Legendary Warrior series. So what inspired that, and who's producing it for you?
So the inspiration for the Legendary Warrior series is actually the Silver Buffalo. I don't think I've ever answered that question in an interview. So
I don't even know.
right. So, and
Breaking news.
I was just sick of seeing the silver buffalo, so much of it. So,
Thank you. Somebody else feels the same way.
right. Not that I don't love the silver buffalo. I love the silver buffalo, but I just felt like there wasn't enough options. So I wanted to do a product that could be produced pretty much for the same cost as the silver buffalo, but making, give a collectability aspect of it, right? And people would ask me, well, why didn't you do limited mintages and things like that? And again, I wanted it to be the cheapest cost it possibly could be for the actual stacker. If I start limiting the mintages, then we have to charge more for it because each die costs money, production, blah blah. So that's why we have an open mintage on all the designs. It's just to give some variety in the stackers and not pay an extremely high premium for them. The actual concept, I honestly don't remember how I came up with the Legendary Warrior concept. But when I did finally develop the concept, Bella and who else was involved? Ashley, yes. Bella and Ashley, we gave them a few different sketches. Actually, it was another.
I wasn't here for the sketches part,
okay,
but
right.
I know it was Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley and another employee, they gave me their concepts of what they thought the design should look like. And then I took those designs to a well-known designer, which I will not reveal right now. And he has done a terrific job doing every single one of the designs. So there are, I believe, 15 legendary warriors, some mythical, some actual people from history. And, some of them are action-packed. Some of them are more portrait-esque, is what I would say. And so it's a little bit of something for everybody. And we do 4 a year, right? So.
Yep. We currently, that we have released is Eric Bloodaxe, Julius Caesar, Achilles, Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Geronimo, and Joan of Arc. The next one we have releasing is October 1st, the 1 ounce, 3/9 fine silver round of Spartacus.
Oh, so there we go. And then about 3 months after the Bullion issuance comes out, we do a collectible one that's 1 of 500. It's a 2 ounce ultra high relief. And if you haven't seen one of those, they're something to see, but they are definitely not for the stacking community. So they are a collectible, right?
They're silver antique and gold gilded, and I happen to design the label on them. So
yes.
Are you and your staff stackers? And if so, what's your preference?
Okay. So I don't know this to be correct or incorrect, so I'm going to say that some of my staff stacks and some of it doesn't. Because it's not something I typically talk to them about.
Right.
For myself, personally, I have a large silver position. So I did own some, well, let me rephrase that. My wife owned some gold, but I believe she sold the remaining of it a few days ago. So, and that is not telling you guys to do that or not do that. I don't even know why she did it. So I'm just telling you at this particular moment, I don't own any ounces of gold personally, but I do own a very large position in silver. And it's low premium stuff. It's literally just silver.
So you stack it for weight.
It is 100% for weight.
Yep.
So
I own 1 grain of gold.
I actually just picked up my first 1 ounce gold on Monday.
Okay.
And it was a pre-33
Right.
double eagle. And but I mean, I've been saving. It takes a lot to get one of those, and so it took a while to get it.
a lot of people talk about gold-silver ratio, things like that. I mean, for me, I've always been very bullish on silver. And, if you don't have the ability to store the silver, meaning that you just have acquired so much, that's probably when I would tend to go towards gold. Mm-hmm. But this is just my personal opinion. This is not Pinehurst Coins speaking. This is just Vince speaking, right? So that's my opinion, that I tend to lean towards silver until it becomes a weight issue, and then I would transition into gold. And I think the most important thing to say about gold, and this is from Pinehurst Coins also, if you're going to buy gold, you need to buy the highest denomination that you could purchase, right? And I mean by what fits your budget. You really want to tend to stay away from 1/10 ounce, quarter ounce, half ounces.
Premiums.
The premiums are going to get you, right? So if your budget is towards that, maybe you want to be more towards the silver side. So the premiums are just astronomical on the fractional gold. So.
Absolutely are.
One of the arguments about fractional gold, though, and you'll hear it all the time in the community, is that if it came down to it, not saying it will,
Sure.
if it came down to a quote-unquote SHTF,
Yep.
fractional gold would be better than full ounces of gold because of bartering situations and whatnot, even despite the premium.
Right.
So
I fully agree with that statement. It's one of the reasons why I call 90% silver the duct tape of the industry, right? It fits all scenarios.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
So you could break it down, you could sell small quantities, large quantities. But again, everything is predicated on premium. So at one point, 90% silver premium was astronomically high.
it was ridiculous.
When I first entered this industry, 90% silver was being sold retail for less than spot.
And that's where they got the name junk.
That's it, yeah. So it's been interesting that junk silver is being sold for tremendously high premiums. That's not the case right now. It's palatable at this moment, right? So there's nothing wrong with having fractional silver, fractional gold. There's exceptions to every single rule. But what I'm saying from an overall strategy of stacking, fractional gold, fractional silver, I wouldn't base my strategy off of that. I would definitely be flexible and diversify a little bit to fit all these different scenarios that we can come up with in our mind. But the core of the stack should be predicated on the lowest premium items, right? So we're trying to put away weight. And if you say, well, I don't stack that way, I like to do it that way, there's nothing wrong with that. I just think from the principle standpoint, you have some collector in your blood, and that's driving your stack in that particular way. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? So for me, stacking, true traditional stacking is unemotional. It is just putting away as much weight as you possibly can. And, sometimes people have a negative view on that, and that's fine. But, there's 80 different shades of stacking.
Yep,
and
for sure.
That's the truth.
And
sure.
Nobody has the right answer. But stacking, putting the most amount of weight away for the lowest possible premium. So
That's a true definition.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, when you first got started, when you very first started Pinehurst, what was the size of that compared to now?
When I first started Pinehurst, it was just myself.
So you started as a one-man show?
I started as a one-man show, correct. I was buying and selling coins on eBay. I'd visit the local coin dealers, do all that type of stuff. The bullion aspect was I was buying, larger blocks of bullion from, national dealers, and then breaking them down to individual lots for people. I probably went by myself for 3 or 4 months, and then I hired my brother, which he actually still works here today. So he's the first employee at Pinehurst Coins.
Cool.
And he's still here today. And so and let's revert back to my wife played as employee number 2, really, but she's not really an employee because she wasn't being paid. So yeah, we operated Pinehurst Coins, which was actually called K's Precious Metals, was the first name of the company.
I didn't know that.
You see, you didn't know that either.
Learn
Bella.
something new.
And that was because my daughter's name is Christiana. So we named it K's Precious Metals, which was very complicated for people to get. And, we rebranded it about 2 years later in 2006 and named it Pinehurst Coins. So K's Precious Metals was the name when it was an apartment in Fayetteville right after I exited the military. So
And so how many employees do you have now?
I would need to get advised on that one, but
Significant growth then, yeah.
I think it's 56.
it could be 56. So it depends on who does the right thing or the wrong thing today, right?
Fantastic.
Oh, good deal. All right. So we already know that you're stacking for weight.
Right.
But is there anything in your stack, anything in your collection that stands out as a piece that you just would not part with? Anything with emotional attached? Anything intrinsic to you?
There is. So and it's not precious metals related. So and I'm gonna just tell the story, I guess. So being an entrepreneur in this business typically starts with being a collector, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a passion for these particular products. I buy and sell them. I made a vow to myself a long time ago that I would stop collecting because it's very difficult to say, draw the line here. This is what I'm going to buy and sell, and this is what I'm going to collect. Sure. So I actually sell everything that I collect, but I don't sell gifts typically, right? So it's got to, I don't know the year or when it is, but a good client of mine, which is now a great friend of mine, he gave me 3 Bitcoins. So, and they were on their Caucasus dollars. So those I still own today, and I will not sell them. So they're worth quite a bit of money now. So I think when they were given to me, they were worth total like $300, maybe $250.
A little bit more today.
And now they're over 60,000.
Yes, they're over 60,000. But again, they were a gift. So sometimes I think about liquidating them, but if my passion was to liquidate them, they would have got liquidated maybe when they were $1,000 each, right? The reason why they're worth so much now is because they are what they are. So they were a great gift from a good friend, and they'll remain that way.
And who knew back then?
You've
heard the story of the guy who bought the pizza with his Bitcoin.
Yes, absolutely. the first transaction with Bitcoin, right?
Bought pizza.
I am not an expert on Bitcoin. I did start accepting it right in the beginning. So Pinehurst Coins does accept payment as Bitcoin, but we actually convert that payment immediately into US dollars, so we don't speculate with Bitcoin. So
we also do check, wire, credit, debit.
Yep. Pretty much every form of payment we take, except for IOUs. So.
I'll pay you tomorrow for some gold today.
Exactly. Yes. Well, other than Silver Eagles, what's your bestseller?
Other than Silver Eagles.
Or are Silver Eagles even your bestseller?
Oh, yes.
They are, by
Silver
far.
Eagles are by far our bestseller. I mean, there's nothing even close to comparison.
Right.
So both on the collectible side and on the bullion side. So the bullion side, Silver Eagle, and on the collectible side, it's the graded Silver Eagle. Another high velocity item for us is the Legendary Warriors. So there are a tremendous amount of other dealers that sell the Legendary Warrior series. So there's a good two-way market on that item. And, I would say that that's probably second to the American Silver Eagle as far as quantity, not top line numbers though.
What, how popular are the Maples, Krugrands, Philharmonics? Do you deal a whole lot with those?
Yeah, we sell all of them in high volume. During the silver squeeze and also during production issues, well, I really wouldn't call it production issues. It was really the demand was just quite high. A lot of people tended to lean towards the Maple Leafs, and then they started going out of stock, and then the Philharmonics, and every other Sovereign and Britannias. Yeah. So they're good, and they're high volume items for us. They're core items, but it's not even a fraction of what you see sold in American Silver Eagles.
Wow.
So, for every 10,000 ounces of American Silver Eagles, we might sell 500 of a Maple Leaf.
Really?
Oh, it's that much of a difference.
Wow, that's funny because when I first got into stacking, I actually chose the Maple as my stacker. only because it was
the lowest premium.
It was low premium.
Yeah.
It was cheaper. It was an ounce. It was 4 nines.
Right.
And then I discovered the milking issue, and I went off of them. And of course, then 2018 rolled around, and they introduced Mint Shield, and
Right.
they didn't knock it out completely, but they did a great job.
Yeah. They
So
did.
milk spotting on maples seems to be a thing of the past for the most part.
Yeah, I think the components to stacking that people are familiar with is obviously premium, right?
For sure.
And they're familiar with the bid and ask on the actual metal, right? But one of the ones that we tend not to talk about as often, but I believe is the most critical of the components to stacking, is the spread.
For sure.
So the spread is the difference between the buy and the sell, right? So even though we have a low premium item, it might not be the best avenue to stack with because it might have the largest spread. But again, there's no absolute answer to this, because you might be a stacker that believes premium means absolutely zero because you're not going to sell until silver gets to $100 an ounce or $75 an ounce. And unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball where I could say when it's $75 an ounce, the premiums for Silver Eagles are still going to exist.
Yeah.
I've been in, there's been time periods where silver has skyrocketed and the premium just drops off, right? So, but for transactional investing, meaning somebody that is going to go in and out of the product quite frequently, the spread becomes very important, right? The smaller the spread affords you the higher probability of being successful, right?
Right.
Long term, I don't necessarily believe that applies because, again, you could be selling it 25 years from now. Who knows what the premiums will be? It's just another variable, just as the silver and gold price would be.
Yep.
Well, speaking of silver and gold, both of those, what's your most popular sizes?
The 1 ounce.
Hit it for both on
By
both sides?
far, the 1 ounce. Absolutely.
So not a whole lot of fractional action going on with gold.
I talk about things in percentages because, the volume is quite high. So if I said, last year we sold, and these are just fictional numbers, but if I said we sold 5,000 1/10 ounce pieces, then I would be saying we probably sold, 25,000 1 ounce pieces. I mean, again, the fractional is a niche part of the industry. Like, if I was to say, like, what are the proper denominations to invest in silver, I would say 1 ounce, 100 ounce, 1,000 ounce. I don't need everything else in between. It's okay to buy if it's bought at the right price, but there's no real, from just an investment in silver, there's no reason to do it. I mean, how many 1 ounce rounds do you need?
Yeah.
Right? Once you hit that, how many 100 ounce bars do you need? And then once you hit that, then why not just buy the 1,000 ounce bars, right? Most bang for the buck. Again, that's my personal
That's true.
philosophy. Right?
Well, the bigger the amount, the lower the premium.
The lower the premium, right? So when we go to just the definition of stacking, that's the way that I look at it. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, you go to your local coin shop and they have a 20 ounce silver bar and the premium is low. By all means, grab it up. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the odds and end, but again, those are all variables that we can't control. And you could make one statement and be proved wrong with 30 different scenarios of what if this happens.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to hit the area with the most probability of success. So
We talked a little bit about platinum and palladium already. We all know that it was a lot higher at
Right.
one point, and just last year.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the massive? I mean, we're talking massive because at one point, palladium and platinum were both down in the 800s an ounce, and we've seen platinum in the 2000s. We saw palladium even higher than that in the 3s not
Yes.
too long ago. What are your thoughts on the fall of those prices?
Platinum and palladium for me have always been an outlier. Okay, the world deposit of platinum and palladium is beyond the U.S. control. Now, don't get me wrong, we do mine some of it. That's what scares me on that particular product, and I think that's what adds to the volatility of those particular
I think
items.
palladium is primarily Russia, if I'm not mistaken. And we,
You know,
you know how that goes.
Again, it's beyond our control.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really, nobody really knows how much has been taken out of the ground, right? So I'm not speaking about any type of conspiracy theory or anything like that, but I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and the price of palladium has come down a lot. So maybe somebody's selling a lot of it. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't typically come down for no reason. So
Very true. Very true. I actually traded in all my, I had platinum. I held a few ounces of platinum, and I actually traded it for gold
right,
back in the day before it went really far, it dropped
right.
in price. I'm kind of thankful that I actually pulled that trigger when I did.
Yeah, when I first got started, the most expensive metal, excluding rhodium and other obscure ones, but was platinum, and then it was gold, and then it was palladium, and then it was silver. And they've kind of jockeyed around all over the place, which is not typical for this industry. So,
Just one left to go, and that would be your unique way that you do with your customers that come in to purchase in-house. What made you decide on that layout and that format?
So we were more of a traditional coin shop in the beginning for a short period of time, but we're really a national company and cater to the whole nation. We don't ship outside of the United States for security reasons, and we wanted to still be able to have our local customers have a place to come in, right? But in order to make it as cost effective and to meet our insurance requirements and make it for a safe place for both the people that are visiting us and for our employees, we elected to do it in the manner that we do today, which is more of a private transaction room, having one-on-one conversations, asking the consumer what products they want to see, and then retrieving those items. It just would not be cost effective for us to set up a display every single day and take it down. So that was the reason for that.
So a little bit of background for those who aren't familiar with Pinehurst. Basically, as you walk in, you're greeted by the receptionist,
Correct.
and you're basically taken to a room where you talk to a consultant or an expert.
Correct.
You go over what you're looking for, and I'm just backfilling for the people that aren't
Sure.
familiar. And then they go back, they take what you want. It's not like a boutique where you can window shop.
Correct.
So there's nothing on display.
Right. There is absolutely nothing on display. Well, it's all displayed on the website.
Right.
So what people do is they peruse the website, and then they come in and say, I'm interested in these 5 items. And then they go pull those items out of the vault and allow you to look at them. And if you buy nothing and just want to view them, that's perfectly okay, right? So it's not a hassle. That's what we're here to do. I mean, our interaction with the public is less than 0.5% of what we do, right? So most of our stuff is done online and wholesale and things like that. We love have people coming to visit us, and it's a interesting experience for everybody that's involved.
I like I said, when I first found you guys, just did a Google search, coin shop near me, and I walked in and it was completely different. It's a unique experience in itself.
Right.
But not anything negative about it at all.
Right.
I think it's great that you're paying that much attention. It's one-on-one.
Right.
Where you'll get that at a coin shop.
Right.
But not that unique interest where, hey, what can I get for it? What can I show you? What exactly are you looking for? What can we help you with today? Right. Whereas coin shop dealers are like, yeah, tell me what you
look around.
Look around.
What can I help you with?
Whatever you want.
But I mean, there's a positive to both sides.
There is.
And because of the situation that we're in and what we do, we try to make the best of it. So.
And you have no worries about smash and grabs.
We don't have worries about smash and grabs. So
a lot of the local shops, they are really concerned about that.
As they should be.
Oh, sure. And as a result, one of the guys I favor up in Raleigh, he'll put out a little bit, but he doesn't. You need to know what you're looking for,
right?
Because he's deathly afraid of the smash and grabs.
Correct.
So his store was already hit once at night.
Okay.
They tried to chain it up to a truck and rip the safe out the front door, but
yeah.
So he doesn't put out a whole lot, and I think a lot of folks are kind of gravitating toward that.
Yeah, I think that is just the way that we have to be with the current circumstances. I mean, I can't tell you how many colleagues of mine have been robbed. So, I mean, it's the nature of the business, right? And that's my job to make sure that we're providing a safe workplace for the employees and the actual consumer that stops by here. Yeah. So that's why security is paramount here at Pinehurst Coins, and that's another reason why we don't have the bars just out displayed.
And speaking of security, I'm not going to go into detail. You gave us the tour.
Right.
Not going to go into detail on your security systems, but you're very well protected here.
Yes.
There's no question.
Yep.
A lot of backups and a lot of systems in place.
That's correct.
So very impressive setup all around.
Thank you.
For sure.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
We did. We had a good time. Well, those are all the questions I believe we had, right?
Yeah, just is there anything you'd like everybody to know, or
anything about Pinehurst you'd like to?
No, I mean, for me, again, I'm just happy that you guys came out to visit with us, spend some time speaking about what you do and what we do. Thoroughly enjoy it, and would love for the individuals that are watching this to check out Bella on eBay Live. So,
yeah,
Bella, when is the next eBay Live show?
We have shows every business day except Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, we have a documentary coming out.
That's right. Forgot to talk about that.
Oh yes, there's a documentary coming out for Empowered,
hosted by esteemed actress Meg Ryan.
And we'll have links to that on our website when that comes out.
We'll link it as well.
We'll link it in the video as well.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, we'll have all the contact information for y'all here in the videos as well. So if anybody needs to get in contact, they'll have direct information.
Perfect.
All right, folks. There you have it. Another huge thank you to Vince and the staff of Pinehurst Coins for taking the time out of their day to meet with us. Really, really appreciated. But be sure to leave a comment down below and maybe post a question that you would have liked us to ask that we didn't cover. Maybe we can add it to the next interview, right? Also, there's a good chance Vince or some of his staff may actually stop in and check out the video, which I'm pretty sure they will, and they may take the time to answer those questions, so we'll see. Vince did make an appearance in our Stackers Corner episode, the one we just did, and it was a pleasure to have him there. Nice of him to join the community and just kind of interact with everybody. But you guys know I love going through the comments, so make sure you sound off. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, oh yeah, you know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life? I want to stack.
Yep, damn right. Get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks. See you on Sunday.